Welcome to Talented Detective. Today, we follow Tom, a young, enthusiastic but inexperienced detective, on his first big case. The story begins at the city's central station, where the manager discovers a suitcase that has been left unclaimed for hours. Tom is called in to investigate. At first, the suitcase doesn't look like much, but when he opens it, Tom discovers a series of strange clues: a stack of old documents, a dagger with dried blood on it, a phone with the battery removed, and a gold ring engraved with a mysterious symbol. These items lead Tom on a dangerous journey, from exploring a secret tunnel system under the city to confronting a mysterious organization plotting to manipulate power. Things get more personal when Tom realizes that he is being followed. A photo of himself even appears in the control room of this organization. In a fierce battle of wits, Tom must decipher mysterious symbols, collect evidence, and escape his pursuers. Can Tom expose the truth and prove his abilities? Follow his dramatic journey in The Ownerless Suitcase. We found a suspicious suitcase, the manager's voice rang out over the phone. No one claimed it, and it's been left on platform 7 for over 12 hours. We need you to check it out. Tom didn't think much of it. Although he had never faced a major case before, he felt that this could be an opportunity to prove his abilities. He quickly packed his tools, put on his faded black trench coat, and headed to Grand Central Station. Part 1: Mystery at Grand Central Station. Tom, a young man who had just turned 24, was once a relatively unknown name in the detective world. He started his career with small cases like finding missing pets or resolving neighborhood disputes. But everything changed one rainy afternoon when Tom received a call from the manager of the city's Grand Central Station. When he arrived, Tom found platform 7 still crowded, but the atmosphere was somewhat tense. A small area had been cordoned off, surrounded by a few security guards. A black suitcase, the kind used by tourists, lay quietly on a bench. It looked completely normal, but its solitary presence in the bustle of the station gave off a sense of unease. The security cameras only showed a man wearing a mask and a baseball cap leaving the suitcase at 3 a.m. He left immediately and disappeared into the crowd. Tom nodded, his eyes sharp. He decided to open the suitcase. But before that, to ensure safety, he asked everyone to evacuate. After a quick check with a handheld metal detector, Tom slowly unlocked the door with his specialized tool. Tom walked over, crouching down to take a closer look. The suitcase had no sign of its owner. No name tag, no special clasp, just a small scratch on the bottom corner. He used his gloves to shake it gently. There was a strange noise inside, as if something hard had collided. Are you sure no one came to claim it? Tom asked the manager. We've been making announcements all morning, but no one has said anything. The suitcase opened, revealing strange objects inside: a stack of old documents, which appeared to have been partially water damaged, a cell phone without a battery, a small dagger with dried blood on the blade, a gold ring engraved with a strange symbol. Tom immediately realized that this was no ordinary case. He put on a mask and used tweezers to flip through the documents. They contained technical drawings of a complex tunnel system, which seemed to be a map of some underground area in the city. The dagger made him shiver. The blood on it was impossible to ignore. Tom took pictures of everything, carefully packaged it to send to the lab for analysis. Tom returned to the security room to watch the videotape. The man in the video was wearing a trench coat, a baseball cap, and a mask. He walked straight to platform 7, put down the suitcase, and disappeared within 5 minutes. Is there anything special about his actions? Tom asked. No, the manager replied. But he seemed to be in a hurry. Tom leaned back in his chair, concentrating. It seemed like the suitcase had a much bigger story than it appeared. The blood, the map, and the gold ring all suggested some kind of connection, but he couldn't quite piece it together. I need more time, Tom told the manager. But I believe this case won't end here. Back in his small office, Tom carefully sorted through the clues he had collected. Every item in the suitcase could be the key to unlocking a big secret. He knew he was at a turning point in his career. If he could solve this case, he could go from being an unknown detective to a household name. In the dim light of the room, Tom stared at the gold ring. The markings on it looked like an ancient symbol. Part of the map also showed signs of matching the city's tunnel system. This unclaimed suitcase, Tom muttered, could lead to the biggest case ever. And I'm going to be the one to solve it. Part 2. The darkness in the tunnel. Tom spent the evening studying the documents inside the suitcase. The technical drawings showed a complex underground tunnel system under the city, which was believed to have been abandoned decades ago. The symbols on the map seemed to be associated with a mysterious organization. The symbol on the gold ring matched one of the symbols marked on the map perfectly. This ring seems to be the key to something, Tom thought. He flipped through the documents, noticing a faint line, 7th door, south of Grand Central Station. That night, Tom prepared to enter the tunnel. He brought a flashlight, a tape recorder, and a small pistol, just for protection. The map showed that the entrance was in an area near Grand Central Station, hidden by old, dilapidated houses. Under the dim light of the street lamp, Tom groped his way to an old iron door hidden behind a brick wall. He compared it to the map and realized that this was the entrance to the tunnel. The door was locked with a large padlock, but that was no obstacle to his lockpicking skills. The door creaked open, revealing a staircase leading underground. The musty smell and cold air hit him in the face. Tom turned on his flashlight and carefully stepped down. The tunnel system was larger than he had expected, with many small branches leading to different areas. But there was one strange thing: some areas seemed to have been used recently. There were fresh footprints on the damp ground, and Tom even found a crumpled piece of paper. On it was a single handwritten note: "Do not turn back." Tom felt a chill down his spine, but he decided to continue. According to the map, the 7th door was located in the south of the system. Along the way, he found more signs that someone had been there not long ago: cigarette butts, an old lighter, and even an abandoned shoe. At last, Tom reached the spot marked on the map. A large metal door, engraved with the same symbol as the one on the gold ring. He placed the ring in the small groove in the center of the door and turned it gently. There was a click, and the door slowly opened. Behind the door was a large room, dimly lit by old neon lights. Inside, there was a long table with documents, machines, and a map of the city more detailed than the one in the suitcase. But what surprised Tom most was a photograph pinned to the wall. It was a picture of himself. Part 3. The mysterious encirclement. Tom stopped, his heart pounding as he looked at his picture on the wall. The picture was clear, as if it had not been long ago. Someone had been following him, but why? He quickly checked around, trying to find more clues. On the table, scattered documents filled with strange notes and drawings appeared. A detailed diagram of the tunnel appeared, with many locations marked with red symbols. Some notes read: "Target moved, Test 3 failed," and "Do not reveal identity." All were in a strange language he had never encountered before. Tom felt uneasy. He recorded the entire image, careful not to disturb the scene. Suddenly, he heard footsteps echoing from the tunnel behind him. Tom turned off his flashlight, quickly hiding in a dark corner. The footsteps grew louder, accompanied by the flickering light from another flashlight. A deep voice said softly, "He must have been here." Tom held his breath, trying to make out the stranger. A man in a black coat, a cap, and goggles appeared in the dim light. He held a device that looked like a signal detector and checked every corner of the room. "We can't let him figure it out," the man muttered. "We have to act now." Tom saw this as an opportunity to get more information. He waited for the stranger to approach, then suddenly circled around behind him, holding a gun to the back of his neck. "Who are you? Why are you following me?" Tom asked, his voice cold. The stranger was startled but quickly regained his composure. "You don't know who you're dealing with. It's best to retreat before it's too late. Don't play tricks. Tell me, what is your purpose?" The man was silent for a moment, then suddenly struck Tom's hand, knocking the gun to the ground. The two men engaged in a fierce struggle. Tom eventually overpowered the man, but the noise attracted the stranger's accomplices. "We won't stop," the man sneered before being knocked unconscious by Tom. Before leaving, Tom found a small card in the stranger's pocket. On it was only a familiar symbol identical to the one on the ring and the door. Below the symbol was a short line: "Time, 3 o'clock location, door 5. Tom knew that these people were not simple. He left the tunnel immediately, taking all the documents and evidence he had collected. Returning to his office, he began to analyze everything and plan his next move. Part 4, The Mask of Truth. The picture of himself hanging on the wall was like a punch to Tom's mind. In the oppressive silence of the room, he felt as if invisible eyes were watching his every move. Tom walked over to the detailed map spread out on the table. On the map, red markers and notes covered important areas of the city. But what caught his attention most was a large circle surrounding the central station itself, where he had found the suitcase. Next to the map was a file. He opened it carefully and found surveillance reports with many names, including his own. These reports detailed his every move over the past month, from the small cases he took on, to the meetings he had with friends. Tom shuddered. Who cares about me like this? Tom wondered. Although he had expected the suitcase to be the key to a larger conspiracy, the fact that he himself was part of it made things even more confusing. As Tom pondered, a small noise came from a dark corner of the room. He quickly pulled out his pistol, and the flashlight shone into the darkness. A mouse scurried past, but that did not reassure him. In the light, Tom noticed another small door at the end of the room, hidden by old wooden crates. He slowly walked towards it, opened it, and found a staircase leading deeper into the room. The musty smell grew stronger, compounding the growing sense of unease in his heart. But Tom knew that turning back was no longer an option. The stairs led him to another room, smaller but seemingly the control center of an organization. Computers, monitors, and filing cabinets lined both walls. On the main screen, images from various surveillance cameras appeared, including the scene at the central station. Tom went to check and found a remarkable video. It was a group of people, about 4 or 5, transporting large metal boxes through the tunnel he had just passed through. Each person wore a mask that covered their face. Tom realized something: the suitcase he had found was just the tip of the iceberg. The organization was probably plotting a larger conspiracy, and the suitcase was being used to test the reactions of people like him. While Tom was searching for more clues, a landline phone in the room suddenly rang. He hesitated for a few seconds before picking up. On the other end was a deep, cold voice. "Tom, you've gone too far. But I know you're smart. You have 2 choices: go back and forget it all, or go forward and face the consequences." "Who's talking?" Tom asked, his voice harder than his trembling exterior. But the other end of the line only responded with a snort, then hung up. Tom put the phone down, his mind in turmoil. However, he knew he wouldn't go back. He had to find the truth, no matter how dangerous it was. Tom continued searching and discovered another document, marked Top Secret. It contained details of a project code named The Seventh Door, a plan to control the city's underground transportation system. The project included installing surveillance devices and even weapons in important areas. Strangely, some of the pages listed the names of powerful figures in the city government. It seemed like this wasn't just a regular criminal organization, but involved high-level forces. Footsteps echoed from the stairs above. Tom quickly turned off his flashlight and hid behind a filing cabinet. A group of people, presumably the ones in the video, entered the room and began examining the documents. Tom tried to stay calm, but his heart was pounding as if it was about to burst out of his chest. As the group left, Tom knew he didn't have much time. He stuffed the important documents into his bag, took a picture of the surveillance screen, and looked for another way out. Luckily, there was an emergency exit that led him outside, a few hundred meters from the central station. Back in his office, Tom carefully sorted through everything. The documents and images he had collected gave him a complete picture of the case. But to bring the truth to light, he needed a concrete plan. Tom knew he was up against a dangerous enemy, but he also realized that this was his chance to prove himself. In the darkness of the night, Tom looked at the gold ring on the table. It is not only the key that opens the 7th door, but also a symbol of the truth, a truth he is determined to expose, no matter the cost. Part 5, The Final Game. Tom knows he's pushed things to the point of no return. He sits quietly in his office, sorting through all the documents and information he's gathered. In his hands is the key to uncovering a major conspiracy, but it also means he's going to have to confront the most dangerous people in the world. The only question left is, what will he do next? Tom decides to contact an old friend, Emily, a famous investigative reporter who has exposed major corruption in the city. Emily not only has access to the public, but also has a strong network of contacts to protect Tom in case he's pursued. Emily, I need your help, Tom says, his voice strained over the phone. I'm holding some documents that could rock the city. But I need them released safely. Emily agreed to meet Tom that night at a small suburban coffee shop with few people around. Before leaving, Tom carefully copied all the documents and photos onto a USB drive and hid it in an old book on the shelf. When Tom entered the coffee shop, he found Emily already sitting in a hidden corner, but something was wrong. The atmosphere in the shop was tense, and Tom felt like he was being watched. He sat down across from Emily, trying to keep his composure. Tom, do you have the documents? Emily asked, her voice lower than usual. No, I've got them hidden. This is just a summary, Tom said, handing her a stack of notes. Are you sure we're safe? Before Emily could reply, the door to the coffee shop swung open. Two men in black suits entered, their eyes scanning the room. Tom immediately recognized them as the men from the surveillance video. Run! Tom yelled and pulled Emily toward the back door. They dashed out of the cafe, but the men quickly followed. Tom and Emily ran through dark alleys, weaving through narrow streets to lose them. Once they had temporarily escaped their pursuers, Tom led Emily to an abandoned apartment he had used as a hideout. There, he handed her the USB drive containing all the evidence. Emily, you have to release them now. If we delay, everything will be hidden forever, Tom said, his eyes determined. Emily nodded. I will. But what about you? They won't leave you alone. Tom chuckled. I have no intention of running away. I will show them that I am not easy to take down. Tom headed back to the central station, where it all began. He knows that the organization will not miss the opportunity to retrieve the documents, and he decides to turn this place into the final battleground. With the help of a few friends in the police force that he trusts, Tom traps the pursuers in an ambush. When the masked group appears, they do not expect that the police have surrounded the area. After a brief confrontation, they are all arrested. Tom stands in the middle of the platform, looking at the original suitcase now lying quietly on the seat, as a symbol of the end. Thanks to the documents Tom collected and the help of Emily, a series of articles are published, exposing the dark plot of the organization and the officials involved. The city is shocked by the revelations, and the public begins to demand action from the authorities. Tom is not only recognized as a hero but also becomes a famous detective. However, he does not forget that this victory was achieved thanks to the support of his companions. In his small room, Tom sat staring at the golden ring that had led him on this dangerous journey. He knew that there were more mysteries out there, and that the truth often lay deeper than what was visible. As the morning light streamed through the window, Tom rose, ready for his next case. He was no longer the anonymous detective he once was, but now a man on a mission to seek justice, whatever that required. Thank you everyone for watching my video. If you find it interesting, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel to support me. See you in the next video. Have a nice day everyone.